Chris Ledlam finishing out the starting lineup for the Harvard Crimson. You'll notice, Alex, a severe lack of height, but they're working around that, and that's how they do it with quickness right away. Edon Trey 2 attacking the rim, and Harvard up 2.
Yeah, we say it's an undersized Harvard team because the tallest player on the floor is Noah Kirkwood at 6 feet 7 inches tall, and he's been more of a wing player over the course of his career, but it's because of injuries. Harvard suffered injuries to basically all of their bigs, and so they've had to kind of change up on the fly. We'll see if Northeastern can take advantage of that. I figure Chris Doherty will be a big part of that.
Great cross-court pass from Doherty, who finds Jason Strong for a three-pointer. Jason Strong making a spot start tonight, a guy who's looking to get hot and fill a very important gap for the Huskies as Noah Kirkwood tries to answer back. Cale Catchings releases the three. That's off the mark, rebounded by Shaquille Walters, and he'll look to run.
A good start from deep here for the Huskies. We told you about the struggles they've had from the outside.
Kick out from Jameel Telfort. Three-pointer off the mark for Walters. And Kirkwood, the former Ivy League Rookie of the Year, the senior, one of the captains on this squad. Get the ball rotation going for Harvard. They love to move the ball around, and that guy right there, Lucas Sakota, the junior, really loves to shoot from outside. He's a marksman. We talked about already a few of the big shots he's had. Maybe we'll get a chance to see some highlights of one of the most impressive shots this gym has ever seen earlier in the week, the day before Thanksgiving against Colgate, in a big win for this Harvard squad. He was off the mark there. Northeastern rotating the ball around. Deja vu, but Jason Strong can't connect on the three-pointer from the same spot on the floor this time. And Trey 2 moving it along, leaves it behind for Catchings, who fires from deep, off the mark. Rebounded by Doherty, and here comes Walters.
The teams are combined 1 for 5 from three-point range after that good start by Strong. And Harvard loves to play fast. They love to get in transition, so it's going to be critical for Northeastern to play good transition defense.
Harvard does not have the size, but they do think they have the speed, and they think they have the athleticism. They're going to try to exploit those elements against Northeastern, who struggled a little bit this year against faster teams. Chris Ledlam, the junior, lowers his head and drives with a right-handed scoop layup. That one too strong off the glass. And Telfort brings it down the other way.
Ledlam, such a fun player to watch, brings so much energy. And Telfort kind of does the same thing on the other side for Northeastern. Those two players just have no ends to the energy and enthusiasm that they have.
Absolutely, Alex. And I do see a similarity in the way that they play now that you pointed out. Jameel Telfort, the reigning sixth man of the year in the Colonial Athletic Conference. This is Sakota from the three, and he connects.
Well, Sakota hits on about 52% of his three-pointers. That's obviously the best on Harvard. He's one of the best shooters among Ivy League players, and his shot really heating up over the last few games, as we talked about at the top.
Sakota, good defense there, checking Walters, who throws it away, looking to connect with Jason Strong, and here comes Trey 2. Noah Kirkwood with the step-back three. That spot on the floor, not as hot for Kirkwood. Vito Chabrillo going the other way.
We've talked about some of the shorthandedness of Harvard, but Northeastern is quite a bit right now as Shaquille Walters will go to the free throw line after that drive. Northeastern's missing a couple of players that they usually have in their starting lineup. Glenn McClintock, who is the starting point guard for this team, with Walters sharing those duties. And also, they're without Nikola Joko, who had been a really impressive graduate student, came over from Notre Dame, but they're banged up, and a couple of preseason injuries have continued to linger for this Northeastern team.
And Shaquille Walters hits the first of two free throws. Obviously, the emphasis here for both of these coaching staffs is to get their full squad ready and healthy for the conference play. So as you talked about, some guys may be getting some early rest, especially with this non-conference matchup on a short bus trip. Shaquille Walters playing that, coach described it as the one point guard, and then Glenn McClintock being 1A. So those two guys really sharing the role, and Shaquille Walters has done a terrific job stepping into that. It's not exactly his strong suit. It's not what he's done for this team for the last few years, but he's been doing an admirable job so far for the Huskies. Here's Catchings on the baseline, going up with the right hand, had his shot altered by Chris Doherty, another Notre Dame transfer for the Huskies. Great on defense. He starts the fast break. Chabrillo around to Strong. The extra pass to Telfort. Off back iron. Doherty skying for the rebound, but Chris Ledlam skying higher. And Harvard looking to run. Sakota.
Now that was a good offensive possession for Northeastern. Did not end in a make, but that's something that Bill Cohen wants to see his team do. Share the ball and get good looks.
Trey 2 with the floater there, but Daugherty able to rise and adjust the shot enough to make it off the mark. A little two-man game there between Daugherty and Telfort, and it works with an easy layup there for Telfort.
Telfort in the starting role here, you know, he's been starter much of the season, but he's playing in a little bit of a different type of role than he had last year, and he draws more attention than he did when he was a freshman.
Trey 2 still can't get it going on the inside. This will lead to a fast break for Northeastern. Chabrillo with the right hand and the hesitation move creates the space he needs to lay it in for 2. Northeastern on top 11-5.
Yeah, quick 6-0 spurt here by the Huskies after the Sakota 3. Tommy Amaker, arms crossed. He has had to learn to be patient with this group because they're changing on the fly. They expected to have different players in there as far as their rotations. They've got guys like Kirkwood manning different positions, and so he has to kind of let his team ride out some of these lulls, these valleys that happen, especially early in games. They seem to happen here lately.
Here's Walters after the Catchings miss on 3. Daugherty with his back to the basket, working on Catchings. Spins to the left, goes glass, no good. Strong there for the putback, but that's no good either. Good work down low by Ledlam for the rebound.
And Northeastern a little bit of a bigger team than in recent years for Bill Cohen's group. And you see the energy of Chris Ledlam getting to the rack and drawing the foul.
And Ledlam will go to the line and Coach Amaker certainly needing them to thrive if he's going to find success today.
Yeah, Coach Carroll's done an outstanding job out there at NMH, and a lot of schools like Harvard have reaped the benefits.
That shot short from Walters. Rebound Ledlam after he hit the first 2 free throws to start off this next segment of the game coming out of the timeout. There's a strong move by Trey 2, just knocking over Glenn McClintock, who checked into the game here for the Huskies.
It's a good sign for Northeastern to get McClintock back in the game, but also a good sign for Harvard to get Trey 2 going. He has been a little bit off in terms of his shooting, so they're getting him closer to the basket, and maybe that'll help loosen up his outside shot.
McClintock working the ball around. It lands with Walters, who finds McClintock in the corner. That one too strong, but rebound Connor Braun. Gets Trey 2 in the air on the pump fake, hits the layup and the foul. He'll go to the line to shoot one more.
Well, with Northeastern shorthanded, they need players like Connor Braun to step up and provide a little bit of something. The redshirt sophomore from Tempe, Arizona. Great job of the jump fake to get Trey 2 in the air and then draw the foul, make the contact, and finish the play. And that's big by Braun after Harvard made a couple of shots after the timeout.
That's right, the redshirt sophomore from Tempe, Arizona with a nice play down low. He'll look to finish off the three-point play. Off the mark on the free throw. Harvard trailing by 4, pushing the ball as they do. The first year, Louis Lesmond off the mark on his first attempt of the game. He's been an impact player for the Crimson early on, and he's had to step up maybe a little earlier than Coach Amaker has expected, but he's performed pretty admirably so far for the Crimson. Walters with the kick out. Telfort 3 off the mark, in and out. That's about as far down as the basketball can go without going all the way in. Rebound Harvard, and they continue to swing.
Yeah, the one advantage as we get a turnover here.
Telfort around the back, caught up in the lane. He goes to the floor, holds the back of his head, hit the ground hard there.
Yeah,
tough take for a tough guy, Jameel Telfort. We know he's strong, we know he's big, and he can handle a lot of physical abuse on the inside as he works his way to the basket. That time got a little bit caught up in the air, didn't really know where he was going with the basketball, and came down pretty hard, but it's great to see him hop right back up.
Take another look here. This is a good foul by Kirkwood. Of course, didn't mean for Telfort to hit his head at the end of this play, just an awkward fall, but a really good job of defending, knowing that Kirkwood was kind of backpedaling there, prevent the easy 2, make him earn it from the free throw line, and it's good to see Telfort. Looks like he is good enough to stay in the game and just needed a moment.
Jameel Telfort shooting 57% from the line this year. Yeah, and just an experienced play there by Kirkwood. Obviously a guy that Harvard can't afford to get into foul trouble. However, on a fast break opportunity like that, if you're going to pick up the foul and force the guy to go to the line as Telfort hits the first one, you at least want to make sure he's not going to make the basket, and that's exactly what Kirkwood did.
At Telfort, we talked about how he had to really adjust into a new role here this season, becoming more of a starter. You knew that teams were going to throw better defenders at him. There's no catching everybody by surprise the way he did as a freshman and won 6th Man of the Year, all-rookie team. And it takes a little while to grow into that role. You might be a returning player, Bill Cohen says, but if you're playing in a different role, it's not necessarily going to be a straight line in terms of progression.
Some other new faces in the game for Harvard. This is Cale Catchings with the right hand off the glass and good.
That's a real tough two by Catchings. A guy who 2 years ago only played in 4 games, 23 minutes. He was limited because of injuries, but after not playing last year with Harvard and the Ivy League, not competing, Catchings has moved into a really big role.
There's a 3 by Walters is good. Quickly the other way goes Denim Wojcik, the first-year guard who checked into the game. Also into the game for Harvard is Samuel Silverstein for the first time. A miscue there by Harvard's offense. That one last touched by...
And, of course, it looked like Harvard was set up for another trip to the NCAA tournament, playing in the Ivy League tournament here at Levites before coronavirus canceled everything.
Well, they're back at it. The series continues today, and so far it's been a pretty good one with Northeastern out to a 7-point lead about halfway through this first half, but the way these two teams have been shooting, the Tides could be turning on a dime. Here's Glenn McClintock, kind of caught at the top of the key. He'll find Walters. Interesting to see how the dynamic shifts with McClintock and Walters both in at the same time in that backcourt.
Yeah,
now Walters will reset. Go
and
ahead,
no
Al.
Chris Doherty, too. You've got Braun essentially playing the big guy.
Off the rebound, that's Silverstein looking to push. Kirkwood thinks about the 3, but now thinks better of it. A great look inside, and nobody was checking Silverstein. Samuel Silverstein, the 6'6 sophomore, able to get the easy layup there, cutting Northeastern's lead to 5.
Yeah, sophomore had only scored a couple of points the other night, but boy, they always seem to be big plays that he makes, whether it's scoring or using those long limbs to deflect passes or shots.
Walters on the step back 3, off the front rim. Here comes Noah Kirkwood with a pull-up 3 of his own, and that's cash.
He just has so much confidence. A great stroke from Noah Kirkwood, and you might not necessarily be involved early on, but you feel like he's going to end up getting his 16, 17 or more points a game just because of how much he's out there and how active he is.
And Kieran Imanga, who recently checked into the game for the Huskies, gets the ball in his hands for the first time. Has some happy feet. He'll get called for the travel, and we have some substitutions coming in for both sides. Chris Ledlam checking back in for the Crimson. Jameel Telfort coming in for the Huskies.
Northeastern has 6 out there. Imanga has to come back out.
Reluctantly.
Trying to go on the power play.
Hey, you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, some people will say. But here at Harvard, they'll always catch that. They know how to count. Wojcik brings the ball up, contested by McClintock. Northeastern playing tight man-to-man defense here in the first 10 minutes of this one. Wojcik through the paint, but he'll reset it with Trey 2. Good ball movement here. Coach Cohen wanted to travel.
He'll get the turnover anyway. That was terrific defense by Northeastern. I'm not sure how aware Harvard was of the shot clock. They did get the shot off from the corner, but it just seemed like they were lulled a little bit into not being more aggressive there. Good defensive stand by Northeastern, but Harvard has made this comeback here. 5-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes, and Northeastern will try and pick it back up as far as their offense now with Chris Doherty back in the game.
Well, Chris Doherty making his presence felt on the defensive end, patrolling the paint. Here's Jason Strong in the paint with the turnaround righty hook, and that'll drop in for 2.
That's a big mismatch. You've got Jason Strong, 6'8". He's listed 210, probably bigger than that, against Wojcik, who's 6'2", 178. If they get matched up again, Strong should just back him down all day.
Yeah, the redshirt senior will be looking to exploit that. Harvard with the extra pass, Trey 2 wide open for 3. Off the back rim, no good. Tough rebound there for Strong, and Northeastern looks to push the other way. Neil Telford off the mark. Chris Doherty there for the offensive rebound, the putback, and the foul. Doherty will go to the line to shoot 2.
Now, Chris Doherty does the dirty work, and he is the guy that comes up with those extra possessions so often. The difference between Doherty last year and this year is that he's taken on a much bigger role as far as calling his game offensively, getting more opportunities on the post. He's Northeastern's only real big post presence that gets a lot of time in there, and he's been a good free throw shooter. He has gotten 3 double-doubles this season. Big-time offensive rebounding force, though, for Northeastern. He's 40th in the country in terms of offensive rebounds per game.
He hits the first free throw, also comes into this one with his 8.8 rebounds per game, being good for second best in the Colonial Athletic Conference so far this year. So Doherty going to be a huge piece of what Northeastern tries to do when it comes to rebounding on defense, getting second chance opportunities, just like the one he created there. Goes to the line and converts on both free throws. He was shooting 77% from the stripe on the year, and he knocks them both down to put Northeastern back up 6. Screen up high by Kirkwood, frees up Trey 2, who glides to the basket and lays it in.
Feels like Northeastern's been paying a lot of attention on the perimeter to players other than Edon Trey 2, and that's left Trey 2 with a lot of opportunities to drive in and get points close to the rack. Harvard likes to see that. You know, you think of Trey 2, Sakota, Ledlam, those guys have got to be good on a night-to-night basis if Harvard's going to win games.
Absolutely, a nice adjustment in the air by McClintock. He's able to knock down that tough layup. And Ledlam with a full head of steam into the paint. Chris Doherty wanted no part of that.
Another one of those terrific juniors. Ledlam just has a great bounce in his step, and he's another guy that keeps balls alive, keeps plays alive for Harvard.
McClintock right back into the paint, right back up to the rim and in.
Ankle looks all right.
Certainly does. A transfer from the Air Force Academy. Now the ball poked away by Walters. Walters on the break. He'll lay it up high, and Doherty finishes.
The best players in the conference. He transferred after a very successful stint with the Huskies to Michigan State, where he's playing for Tom Izzo. And still, media and folks who vote in that poll around the league said that this is going to be a pretty darn good Northeastern team even without him. It might look a little bit different than we're used to, but it's probably going to take a while. But you figure Bill Cohen's going to have this team humming by the time CAA play gets here.
Absolutely. That's what these tune-up non-conference games are for. And so far, Northeastern taking advantage of this opportunity up to an 8-point lead. But Chris Ledlam working hard inside. You see him lower the right shoulder and muscles his way up to the rim, drawing the foul on Doherty.
Yeah, they get this foul on McClintock, which is good for Northeastern that it wasn't on Doherty, who already had a foul. And maybe there's going to be a discussion as to who that foul is on. Nope. Mike McCluskey talked it over with Mike Fleury, and they confirmed the foul is on McClintock for reaching in there at the end. You know, Harvard doesn't have that traditional back-to-the-basket type of post player, but it comes different ways in terms of their interior production. Ledlam more of a driver than a guy who's going to back down a player like Doherty, and so Northeastern's got to be aware of those players coming to the rim, and Harvard's going to try and give those players space to slash in.
That's right, and even from the post, speed and athleticism can still kill you and make up for a lack of size. Ledlam proves that possession in and possession out. He's able to take advantage there with the free throw. Shaquille Walters is going to drive to the rim, but that foul will be on the floor.
Going to get Sakota for this one. And probably needed to. You saw what Walters was able to do.
We've all seen the highlight dunks from Shaquille Walters over the years. He has really owned that paint on certain occasions and made defenders look absolutely foolish. So never a bad idea to foul him on his way to the rim. Anything to slow down the athleticism that Walters possesses. A great job jumping the passing lane there by Kirkwood, and he'll look to push. Pull up for three in transition, off the mark.
But that's what Harvard and Kirkwood do. They read those passing lanes so well. They get deflections, get steals, and that's where the defense is so good. It's a team that, you look on paper, they give up over 70 points a game, but they really defend very well and force you into a lot of turnovers.
Absolutely, nothing easy. Although McClintock makes it look easy with the deep three, despite the hand from Trey 2 right in his face.
Well, he barely got an opportunity to play in that Paradise Jam, but he's making up for lost time with 7 early points.
The senior guard, Spencer Friedman, in there with the two-man game. Jameel Telfort trying to wait for the exact right moment to jump down and double team Kirkwood, but he's going to get called for the reach in. That'll be on the floor. And Friedman will inbound.
Well, Harvard's gone a little bit cold from the outside. They're just 1 for their last 7 from 3, and this is, well, it's going to be 1 for 8. I think that was a 3 from Kirkwood. But the point is, I think Northeastern's doing a really good job of forcing Harvard into some tough shots, and the Crimson are not finding a lot of success driving to the basket.
No, they're not driving to the basket. They're not getting to the free throw line quite as much as Coach Amaker might like. Glenn McClintock kicks out. Shaquille Walters for 3, and it's pure. Right in front of the Harvard bench, Walters makes it rain.
Tommy Amaker did not want to call another timeout here. He wants his team to be able to figure it out on the fly.
Friedman caught in a tough part of the court right in front of Northeastern's bench. They let him hear it. And Lucas Sakota is going to pick up a foul, and he'll hear it as well. Another big rebound by Darty, who's been working so hard on the glass already tonight.
That's what he does. I mean, he is a grinder, and really a fun player to watch. Local product. He's from Marlborough, Massachusetts. Wanted to come back and play closer to home after starting his college career at Notre Dame, and he stepped into a big-time role here. You know, Northeastern, they've had the defense all year. This is nothing new that Harvard has struggled. One thing that Northeastern's got to know is that Harvard, Tommy Amaker, loves the fight from his team. This is a team that just a couple of nights ago came back from down 16 to win the game against Colgate, team that had just knocked off Syracuse in the Carrier Dome.
That's right. Telfort short on the 3, but more fight underneath by Darty, not able to retain possession. Harvard pushing it the other way, and yeah, Coach Amaker really likes what he's seen from his guys. They can be down, but they're never out. Northeastern needs to keep that in mind, even as they continue to try to grow this lead, which right now sits at 13, and they have the ball. Walters driving kick. Chabrillo from the corner. That one's no good, but Walters on the rebound. One of the best rebounders in the CAA, whether you're talking forwards or guards, in the top 10 in the conference last year.
Yeah, we told you he plays the point guard, point forward. How many point guards averaging 6 rebounds per game, second on the team?
His 13 points per game leads the team as well, and that was a beautiful reverse layup. He slices and dices his way through the Crimson D, and now Northeastern finds themselves up 15. Sakota with the fall away bank shot from the left side. Difficult shot, and he's able to get it to fall.
And the Crimson really needed that. They just need some sort of positive traction. That ends the bleeding a little bit. Down by 15 just a moment ago, and now they've just got to hope that they can trim this deficit. They were able to get the gap to 7 on Wednesday, and if they can get it under 10 here before halftime, they'll feel pretty decent.
Just a terrific 3-man game there for Northeastern between McClintock, Telfort, and Walters, and it ends in a McClintock 3.
He's got 10 points, most he's had.
Back to work on Ledlam. McClintock with the pull-up jumper from the free throw line. Off the mark, and Lucas Sakota will bring it the other way.
Crimson just need to continue to get stops like that. I know they forced a lot of clock, but they did not give up the points, and you know, that's obviously where they need to have a little bit more success. 3-point shooting, just 2 for 11. This is a team that has been stroking the 3 at a fantastic rate here over the last few games.
Yeah, they really turned it on from behind the arc, but that has not been there tonight, and that time Samuel Silverstein, nothing but air on that 3-point attempt. Northeastern, on the other hand, 5 for 14 from behind the arc. That man right there, Shaquille Walters, has a couple of them, but he can't hit the step-back jumper. Sakota with a lot of speed, but he'll slow things up and pull it out. Silverstein almost decapitates his teammate, but the ball ends up in the hands of the intended target, Sakota, who finds Lesmond, and Lesmond is able to bury the 3, and that's exactly what you're talking about, Alex.
Really talented player. Yeah, that's good ball movement. They had to work for it, but they find it. But Lesmond, you know, preseason Ivy League Rookie of the Year, according to Blue Ribbon, a guy with tremendous expectations. Missed a couple of games earlier because of injury, but looked really healthy when he scored 15 points on Wednesday night.
Yeah, he has been featured in this offense due to the injuries, and looks like he's been enjoying it. Doherty, the only man down in the paint for Northeastern, unable to secure the rebound amongst 4 white jerseys, and Luka Sakota drives to the rim. Count it, and he'll go to the line to shoot one.
Well, Harvard's doing what it needs to do. You hit this free throw, you get it to a 10-point game. We said if you get it under 10, you have to feel pretty good if you're Tommy Amaker's club, and it's coming from a bunch of different sources. Sakota, we talked about his three-point prowess, but he's another one of those players that has the ability to shoot from distance and drive to the basket. They get the foul on Walters, and Northeastern's offense has become a little bit stagnant here as well over the last few trips. They've relied a bit too much on jumpers.
Sakota unable to finish the three-point play, but certainly that Harvard offense starting to turn things around, and it all starts on the defensive end. Wojcik right now checking McClintock. These two smaller point guards, both very dynamic. A great battle to watch. Doherty about space, off the mark, but Jason Strong there to clean up the trash off the boards.
Just great job by Strong with the offensive rebound after Doherty couldn't make it happen in the one-on-one, and just a team basketball crashing the boards. Good opportunistic play by Strong.
Chris Ledlam with the confident pull from the top of the key. He's been doing so much work on the inside. Sometimes has to take a step back and remind people that he can shoot from out there as well. Remember, he's not necessarily slated to be one of the big guys always doing the dirty work on the inside. He's got a very pure jumper, and that one goes down to cut the lead to 10 here. Northeastern will look to stretch it on their last possession. Here's Strong now, clock down to 5. Walters waiting for a screen. Clock down to 2, here's the heave from 3, Walters. As Shaquille Walters looks to get things going for the Huskies, who start the second half with possession, trying to pick up where they left off. Jameel Telfort, a quick double team down there from Trey 2, and that's going to lead to a turnover.
And a foul by Telfort to boot here. And this is something that Northeastern has got to continue to be prepared for. Harvard is so active in getting its hands on the basketball. This is a team that's 20th in the nation in steals per game. They average nearly 11 steals per contest, really force a ton of turnovers. And the Huskies are going to have to take care of the basketball.
Active hands for Harvard lead to good things there. An offensive rebound, the first of the game for the Crimson. And Cale Catchings will get an opportunity to go to the line to shoot 2. There's a little bit of that fight and grittiness that you talked about,
This
Alex.
is exactly it. You know, you've got 2 black jerseys there, Telfort and Doherty, 2 of Northeastern's best players, but it's Cale Catchings who, with that extra effort, comes away with the basketball and in the process of going up, earns the foul, so he goes to the free throw line. The second foul on Chris Doherty.
Catchings makes the first, picking up a foul on Doherty, something Harvard would love to do, get him in foul trouble, take him out of the game. He led all rebounders in the first half with 12, 11 on defense, 1 on offense, always working hard in the glass, but nothing to rebound there. Catchings hits both free throws, and Harvard cuts this lead to 8 early on in the second half.
You know, that's a good point about Doherty. You know, he only scored 4 points, but 12 rebounds, just a big-time force that Harvard doesn't really have a matchup answer for.
Although, if you look at the numbers, he was at 10 rebounds only 10 minutes into the game. So he did slow down a little bit there in the first half. The one guy who's not slowing down is Edon. Trey 2 with the left hand off the glass, and it's a 6-point game.
And just like that, you have to feel like Harvard, it's a new game. Just a minute into the second half, you force the turnover on the other side, you get the block, and come away with 4 points on your first 2 possessions.
Battle going on down low between Catchings and Doherty, and Doherty's going to pick up the personal foul here, and he can't believe it.
Battling there, and Harvard will at times, you know, to try and match the bulk of Doherty, go with a double team, and this is something that the Crimson are excellent at. Ball denial on the post, and that's part of how they make up for their lack of bulk inside there. Doherty's going to stay out there with 3 fouls, but he's going to need to be a little bit careful, and that's tough for a guy who gives a maximum effort all the time to do. Good job of avoiding the foul there, but Ledlam makes it a...
Coach Eskildson spoke for Harvard. He said we came out sluggish on both ends of the floor in the first 5 minutes or so. He said we took poor shots and allowed way too many easy buckets. He said our defense hurt our offense. And ultimately, he said it's not really one thing we have to do better in the second half. It's a bunch of things. Dylan?
Thank you so much, Connor. Well, we see Northeastern sticking with what's been working and leaving Chris Doherty out there with the 3 fouls here early on in the second half. That was a foul on the floor for Harvard. Trey 2 looking for a little bit of a hook action call, but not going to get it. Instead, goes against the Crimson. Doherty again having to work really hard down low, but this time in the battle between him and Catchings, it's going to be Catchings ruled for the foul on what looked like a pretty 50-50 ball.
Yeah, and I think that almost like they gave the tie to the runner. They gave the advantage to the offensive player there, and Doherty to go out and get that, but good effort by Catchings to try and deny anything that gets to the interior.
No look pass out to Jason Strong. Pump fakes, drives the lane, off the glass and in for Strong, who's having a nice game for Northeastern.
It's really fun watching these two teams, the versatility, a player like Strong who can linger on the outside, take the threes, but also the ability to drive and use his strength.
Well, Noah Kirkwood has a lot of tools, and he's starting to put them all to good use. Coach Amaker told us earlier in the season, there's no bones about it. Noah Kirkwood's our best player, and how he goes, so will we. He had a slow start to this game, and so did Harvard. Now he's trying to turn on the Jets and get things cooking. A nice look to Sakota, who's met in the air by Doherty. Contact and the foul. That's going to be number 4 on Chris Doherty, and the aggression of the Harvard offense is going to pay dividends here as Connor Braun gets set to come off the bench.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of Connor Braun, but look at Kirkwood. He's looking left. He sees Sakota out of the right side of his right eye, throws it in that direction and catches Northeastern off balance. And that's 2 big plays by Noah Kirkwood back-to-back. First the shot, then the would-be assist to find the open Sakota. And tell you what, he's the guy that needs to get involved and really get going for Harvard, be the playmaker that he is. The Crimson already back in this game, but if they can get a little bit more from Kirkwood, then they're going to find themselves in the lead before long.
That's right, and things might start to open up for Kirkwood inside now. With Doherty going to the bench, Kirkwood at 6'7", 215, plays big, has been asked to play all 5 positions on the floor for the Crimson this year, from the 1 through the 5, and generally because of the lack of size, he plays down low. He'll have a little bit more room to operate now as Northeastern just looking to stop the bleeding, put together a good offensive possession, and get a quality look.
And so without Doherty in there, Northeastern becomes a bit more like Harvard with 5 guys that can linger out there on the perimeter and not necessarily that true post presence.
Telfort drives the lane, shot clock ticking down, the right-handed floater off the mark, and there's Ledlum to clean things up and go the other way for Harvard. Ledlum going to have a much easier time finding rebounds now, and he makes that look easy too. Another 3-pointer for Chris Ledlum. He's starting to get hot. And Harvard takes the lead for the first time in a long time in this ballgame.
Since the early moments, it feels like Northeastern bit shell-shocked after they led by 10 at halftime. It has been all Crimson, 13-2 over the last 3.5 minutes since the break.
That time Telford able to draw the foul against Kirkwood. Goes right into the body. Gets the contact he was looking for.
But Tommy Amaker has got to love the way that his team has played defense to jumpstart the offense here in the second half. They have not made life easy for Northeastern. You heard what Connor talked about. The coaching staff of the Crimson wasn't happy. Too many easy looks for Northeastern. Well, nothing easy right now. I mean, just as simple as giving the ball to a teammate has become a chore for the Huskies.
Clintock down the left side. A good look to a wide open Telford. He buries it. And that gets Northeastern's bench back up on their feet. Only the second made bucket for Northeastern of this second half.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot more of that now with Doherty on the bench, because there won't be as many opportunities for second chances without his rebounding.
Ledlum with his patented move, lower the shoulder, create some space, rise up and lay it in. Chris Ledlum played wide receiver in high school. He's clearly good at generating space through the contact, and he's putting it to great use now as he's getting things going from the inside and the outside. Northeastern trying to answer. The ball game is tied at 46.
Kind of looks more like a big tight ends build.
I was thinking the same thing, but the internet says he played wide receiver. I trust him. Connor Braun, an inadvertent pass to McClintock, who has to fire.
Struggling from deep after he was averaging close to 10 points a game early this season, but his defense has also made an impact as much as his offense, guarding out there in the perimeter, making life tough for Northeastern's guards.
That's right, Trey, too, a guy who's not afraid to do the dirty work. He came on strong at the end of his first-year campaign with 11 points in the final 2 games of that one, but then had to come on much stronger this year with the role that he's been forced into for the Crimson. He tracks down an offensive rebound there for Harvard, something they were lacking big time in the first half. That's going to get swung all the way around, end up with a 3 from Lucas Sakota, another one of those juniors. It's off the mark, and Shaquille Walters is able to corral the rebound.
It's a 23-7 run for Harvard since they trailed by 16 points. That was when it was 39-23 with 2 minutes to go in the first.
Big time run here for the Crimson, something that they'll have to master if they're going to navigate their way through a very tough Ivy League schedule. Vito Chibrillo thought he was able to save that one along the sidelines. Referee Tim Smith had other ideas, ruled out of bounds. Another turnover, and Harvard will take the ball and a chance to take the lead yet again. Now we're back on the seesaw after we saw only 1 lead change in the first half. These 2 teams duking it out here in the second, and Northeastern in a little bit of survival mode without Chris Daugherty out there. Noah Kirkwood banks home a 3, and he'll take that open look all day, every day.
No doubt about it. That's 5 points since halftime for Kirkwood, and what you've seen is the Northeastern offense has really grinded to a halt. They have not been able to play the transition game that they played a lot in that first half, and so these possessions are lasting deeper and deeper. And early on, Northeastern was getting a lot of easy looks earlier in the shot clock, but it seems like every time they're now going into single digits on the buzzer or timer before they get a shot off.
Jason Strong backs down his defender, kicks it out to Walters for an open 3, and Northeastern is still going to make those if you leave them open, and that right now is what's keeping them hanging on in this ball game.
Yeah, I think there was a little indecision there from Walters. Should I take it or not? But he saw the clock and said, I've got to take this shot, even if it's not exactly what I want. But good enough player, he's able to make it.
Shaq Walters has one of those beautiful high-arcing 3-point shots. That 3-point attempt, not quite as beautiful, brought in by Jason Strong.
That's not what Tommy Amaker wants, especially with his team playing really well offensively in the second half.
Northeastern will work the ball around and look for that open look. Really nobody in the paint now. Strong comes down. The right-handed layup off the glass. It's worked for him a few times already tonight. Doesn't go down there, though. Kirkwood from 3 again. He knew it. He knew it as soon as he let it go. Noah Kirkwood is getting hot, and that spells danger for the Huskies. Kirkwood had 17 the last time these 2 teams matched up. They know what he can do, but just because you know what he's capable of doesn't mean that you can keep him in check. Right now, he is feeling himself. He's going to take some extra attention from Northeastern's defense. Chibrillo from the corner for the Huskies. No good. Rebound, Trey 2.
The shot's not falling here for Northeastern, and it seems like it's Noah Kirkwood time. Quiet first half, just like the case on Wednesday night, coming alive here. But really everybody contributing here for Harvard.
Here's a mismatch on the inside.
Magic to it. Tommy Emaker's brought in terrific players, and he's coached them really well. And that's why there's been so much success here at Levites.
And whether it's in the non-conference or the Ivy League, they love playing in this building, and another reason why they would really love to find themselves as one of the 4 remaining teams at the end of the season to play in that Ivy League tournament right here on their home floor. Northeastern back to work. Shaq Walters muscling his way inside against Kirkwood, but Kirkwood, good defense there, and the layup does not go. Lesman drives to the baseline, pull up short, rebound Connor Braun.
See, Northeastern wants to get out and play fast. Going to get called for the offensive foul, though, with Jameel Telfort putting his head down and trying to run over the Harvard defense. Take another look here. Good defense moving by Sakota, although I didn't necessarily see where the foul was there.
Neither did I. We're all kind of scratching our heads, but nonetheless, the ball goes the other way. That's the way it bounces, and Telfort on the next fast break will keep that one in mind. Catchings driving the lane. They're going to get a foul on the floor against Connor Braun, who was just trying to stop the momentum of Cale Catchings, who really has come on strong in the second half after a tough 0 for 4 showing from 3 and 1 for 7 showing from the floor in the first half.
It's never good when you're the guy who gets knocked over and you get called for the foul. That's usually goes in the bad play category.
Kirkwood's going to direct traffic from up top, and that's one of the things he brings to this team. He knows where everybody should be on the floor at all times. Silverstein there with the cut, but he can't corral it in time to get a layup up. But it doesn't matter because the first year, Louis Lesmond knocks it down from outside. Harvard now up 6 with just about 10 minutes to go in this game.
Part of a basketball family. His dad, David, played at Purdue, was a professional player in France. Mother, Vanessa, played pro in France. Sister's a baller, too. She might be headed to Yale before it's all said and done. And just a great basketball lineage there in the Lesmond family.
Ball is life. Glenn McClintock with a step-back 3. Those were going down for him in the first half, but not here. Kirkwood the other way. Oh, just put Shaquille Walters on skates as he slides in to sink the lefty layup.
Can't afford to play without him anymore.
Walters, the driving kick to Chabrillo. Jump stop by Chabrillo out to Telfort. Ball continues to move around for Northeastern. Some fans want to travel there on Imanga. Step back shot from Walters, high arcing, no good, but the man on the spot has been there all night, Chris Daugherty, for the offensive rebound.
And that's what Northeastern's been missing, the opportunities for second chances on plays, the rebounding presence. Far too many one-and-dones here for Northeastern in the second half.
That's right. We've said it time and time again how it's been a tale of two halves, and for Northeastern, 8 second chance points in that first half so far. None here in the second. Look for 2 here, but the lefty finger roll comes up short, although two players bumping into each other for the Crimson. Cale Catchings wants a foul, not going to get it, and that ball trickles out of bounds off the Crimson.
Unless the foul's called on Kirkwood. Let's take a look here.
I think he wanted it on Daugherty with a push right there, because Daugherty certainly gave him a hip check right into Kirkwood, but
that's a tough one to see for the officials, but yeah, it did look like he got his arm back there and knocked Catchings off balance, so that's really a double bonus for Northeastern. They get the ball back and they avoid having Daugherty foul out.
Yeah, fine line there. What is a box out? What is a hip check? Only the refs know. We take their word for it. Northeastern desperately trying to find some offense here as they have gone stagnant. Trailing big time, only 8 points in the second half so far. Telfort had the last 3 for Northeastern. Had a 3 for Northeastern here in the second half, but can't get his second. Louis Lesmond thinks about a deep 3.
You know, you said the offense has gone quiet for Northeastern, but the Harvard defense has really gotten much better than what we saw in the first half, and I think that's as much a key as anything.
Chabrillo from deep. No good there. Catchings again, battling with Daugherty. Daugherty wanted an over-the-back call, thought he had the box out. No such luck. Kirkwood gets the ball on the low block. He'll go to work. Kick out, Silverstein, 4-3. Sam Silverstein coming through in the clutch.
Kirkwood draws so much attention. Everybody collapses in on him, and that leaves very capable shooters open out of the perimeter, and there's so much trust with Harvard that they would let Silverstein take a shot like that.
There's a deflection by Kirkwood. Telfort wanted a foul, not going to get it. Kirkwood tried to leave it for Silverstein, who can't finish the fast break. Ball getting thrown all around here now. And Lesmond, is going to corral it and settle things down.
Yeah, Northeastern getting a little frustrated with the officials. Telfort thought that he was fouled when he lost possession there.
The spin, the step back, the jumper off the mark for Kirkwood. I think these fans would have lost their mind if he made that one. Shaq Walters tries the left side yet again. No good yet again, but a tip in by Chris Daugherty, who will not be deterred despite the physicality going on down low. The battle with Cale Catchings. Chris Ledlam not even in the game for Harvard right now, but a physical battle down below. A timeout for Coach Amaker, and that's going to take us to a quick break. Chris Daugherty will get a drink. D3, a good team is a good team, and they're going to be a challenge for us, and we love playing them. It's good for the basketball community in this area, and we'll see how they do. I'm sure very exciting for the Babson players as well to get a chance to play against the Crimson. Chris Daugherty continues to rack up the boards. He stays in the game with his 4 fouls. Shaquille Walters continues to look for fouls, driving the left side of the paint, but doesn't get them. There's a Euro step by the European, Louis Lesman, smooth with the left hand.
Great job by Harvard attacking in transition after the miss on the other end. And, you know, those were makes in the first half for Shaquille Walters. Those plays driving to the basket, but Harvard has gotten so much tougher near the rim, and big plays on D like this.
Yeah, Telfort has to really hold himself back there to not pick up a frustration foul. Chris Ledlam doing what he does best, getting in passing lanes, playing with tenacity. And that time he turns defense into offense yet again. Walters spinning, finding no one between him and the rim. And he's going to pick up the foul, finally take a trip to the charity stripe.
You know, Ledlam now with 17 points, 11 rebounds, becomes the first Harvard player with double-doubles in back-to-back games since Seth Towns did it in 2018.
You could say that's good company. Ledlam, we've talked about how important he will be to the Crimson and their success this season. Shaquille Walters, similarly on the other side, knocks down the first free throw. Northeastern trying to figure out what game plan is necessary to get them back in the game, and right now they'll try a little bit different personnel with the freshman guard. It's Toe Randria Salama checking into the game for the first time.
Yeah, freshman from Montreal. Randria Salama was a recruit who was looking for time to get in, made his first appearance against Duquesne, and so he'll get some playing time here as Harvard try and hold off Northeastern the rest of the way.
No time like the non-conference schedule to find out what you have in some of these players deeper down your bench. Obviously, we've talked about who Northeastern is missing tonight, and there are some big names on that list, none bigger than Nikola Jogo, the transfer from Notre Dame. But Samuel Silverstein does not care about who isn't playing. He steps up and knocks down another jumper for the Crimson. Chris Doherty looking to move the ball around, finds a cutting Jason Strong on the inside, and Strong able to finish it.
And that's the type of basketball that Bill Cohen's teams typically play. You know, a lot of cutting, some ball screens. Few teach it better than Bill Cohen, and Northeastern just kind of got away from that part of their offense here tonight.
Walters fouls Ledlam on an attempt from downtown, so Chris Ledlam will go to the line to shoot three, and that is a lack of discipline for the Husky squad. You see everybody collapse down to Kirkwood. Kirkwood with the presence of mind to turn and kick it out to Ledlam, who has hit multiple threes from that spot on the court already today. Probably what caused Jack Walters to go so aggressively out towards him on the three-point line.
Yeah, not a good closeout there from Walters. It was kind of a for show step out. He put his arm up last minute, but then just kept going. And for Northeastern to come back and win this one, they need to make shots and get stops. And maybe this is looking like a good foul. Ledlam misses all three.
I guess you could call it a good foul. Ledlam, a player who was named Rookie of the Week in the Ivy League 5 times in his freshman season, now already pretty deep into his junior year and showing us how much he has progressed, using his physicality. Spent a lot of time over these last couple years in the weight room, and that is coming in very big for the Crimson tonight, and will continue to come in as they lack size and wait for those bigs to get back healthy.
But that was
Lesman with the steal, kick to Kirkwood, driving down the lane. Kirkwood no good on the finger roll, but look at how Harvard is now flying around with all kinds of energy and confidence. Nowhere to be found in the first half, but an unending supply of energy here in the second.
I mean, Northeastern just got a big-time gift as we take a look at the tough defense being played by the freshman Randria Salama. I mean, 0 for 3 for Ledlam at the free throw line. He's 6th in the Ivy League in terms of percentage. It's 80%. And the Huskies could not turn that into a benefit on their end.
No, and that's something that they'll have to get better at, capitalizing on those kinds of opportunities. That time, the active hands causing a turnover for Northeastern. McClintock down low. Lesman said it was all ball, but McClintock will go to the line to shoot two. Northeastern just looking to push now and get as many opportunities as they can to get shots up at the rim.
I saw it as initially ball and then forearm. Let's see if this confirms what I thought.
Yeah, plus a hand on the back there as he rises. You know, people forget about what What is your other hand doing? What is your hip doing? You might have got some ball there. Or
Yeah, the
all
foul
ball,
can come
but-
from a few different places.
Exactly. McClintock, the Air Force transfer, knocks down the first. A player that Coach Cohen has talked about how much he brings to the team, and a few areas. He said discipline, obviously, it's something you would expect with a transfer from a military forces academy, but also just a competitive streak in this guy. The way he comes to practice every day, ready to work, just makes everybody on the team better. He was hot in the first half. If he had stayed hot here in the second half, who knows if Northeastern will be looking at this 10-point deficit. But his shooting has gone a little bit cold, and all the Huskies still trying to find their stroke here in the second. They're going to need to string together a few stops. Defense is their calling card. They've been tops in the conference in the CAA in defense for the last 4 years. This second half is not the identity they want to play to, but Noah Kirkwood will play to that. Another sweet stroke from 3 for Kirkwood.
What do we say? It doesn't matter how he starts. He's going to end up with his 16, 17 points. That 3 put him at 16.
Jason Strong, another turnaround hook shot, almost at the free throw line, goes in and out.
It's interesting, it's the 2-point shots that Northeastern has been coming up short on seemingly more often than not. It's not the threes that have failed them. They were really good at threes in the first half, but they've missed a lot of shots within 10 feet of the basket.
Just a concerted effort by Harvard on the defensive end to not make anything easy for the Huskies, and that has led to a lot of confidence on offense. Clintock tries the baseline. Nothing doing there for him. He'll look out to Darty. Play a little two-man game. Randria Salama over to Strong, who takes the step-back 3. That one's no good in this game. Hale from Canada.
Also, they get to go to a more tropical setting from their Canadian winters down to the Boston winters, right?
Right, exactly. Palm trees everywhere. We're sipping Mai Tais out here today.
Well, it is a little bit, maybe a little bit better winter than what you'd get in, Hamilton, Ontario, or Montreal.
You're probably not wrong about that. Gotta love New England in the fall and the winter. Presents its challenges for these squads as they travel around the country. Both of these schools have to do a bit of traveling especially in their non-conference slates. Northeastern, as we mentioned earlier, just getting back from the Paradise Jam in the Virgin Islands. Harvard keeps things a little bit more local, but they've taken some trips as well, including over to China a few years ago.
And they'll head to Fog Allen Fieldhouse in a couple of weeks and take on Bill Self's Kansas Jayhawks team.
That's right. So some big challenges up ahead for both these teams, and that's not even mentioning how they both have very tough conferences to play in. They're looking to tune things up, and there is definitely a lot of things that can be tuned if you're looking at this Husky squad and what they've done in the second half.
Yeah, you look at Northeastern, they're scoreless the last 2.5 minutes. This is another 8-0 Harvard run. I mean, if you didn't join us earlier, then you'd say, okay, this was a pretty one-sided game, but Northeastern led by 16 in the first half.
Well, Alexander Nwaga just not able to finish that dunk, almost tipped in his own missed dunk while hanging on the rim. Not sure how you score that, but
felt like we were watching one of those slam dunk contests with Waga hanging off the rim like that, trying to throw it back in. Doesn't get to take a few more attempts before the timer runs out, unfortunately.
Waga, the 6'8 sophomore, one of those players we mentioned who hails from Canada, getting a chance to get in the action here tonight. Kale Catching says, you want some action? I got all you can handle, big guy. Catching's really coming on strong in the second half here, and Coach Amaker has to be thrilled with what he's seen from his team in the second half as we come down to the last 90 seconds of this game, and Northeastern trails by 20. Spin move by Strong with the left hand, no good. Northeastern continuing to struggle from in close.
Yeah,
Missed layups has been the story of the second half.
Well, how tough has Harvard gotten with regard to its interior defense and making life so difficult on those drives to the basket? It has just been really painful for Northeastern. You would have thought maybe they would have an advantage, and they've got players that can drive, but those shots are not falling. And I think, as we talked about, these are two teams that are dealing with being undermanned, not having the pieces they thought at the start of the season that they would. Harvard putting in some players from the end of their bench to finish out the rest of this game. But for Northeastern, the tough part is this is back-to-back games where they led by double digits in the second half and end up getting blitzed. It happened against Colorado State where they lost by 10 in a game they led by 20 in the second half. And here against Harvard, they led by 16, 10 at halftime. And right now they trail by 20.
Yeah, that was the championship game with that Paradise Jam tournament we've talked about. And tonight, more of the same for the Huskies. Crimson getting some players off the bench. Northeastern also now checking in with Kieran Imanga. And when you look at it, 5 for 23 from the floor in the second half for Northeastern is not going to get it done. Only 7 of those 23 shots have been from deep. 2 of those went in. So if you do the math there, that makes them 3 for 17 from inside the three-point line in the second half. And that is certainly not going to win a ball game for you, no matter how many you're up at halftime. Ranjia Salama off the mark. Good opportunity for some young guys to get some shots up.
Well, for Harvard, they get Tommy O'Neill into the game, and O'Neill and the O'Neill family in Lexington, Massachusetts, hosted the Harvard team for Thanksgiving on Thursday. The only truly local player on the team, and they had a game the night before. Didn't have to go too far to have the O'Neill family host them.
Yeah, the Lexington, Mass native. Must have been something good in that cooking. They went into the meal feeling good after the win over Colgate. They left the meal feeling good, and leads to a win over Northeastern. Telfort continues to miss layups. Northeastern continues to struggle. Wojcik will dribble out the clock. Not the battle that we thought we were going to have.